The First World War influenced a lot of films, most notably Metropolis. Influenced by Germany's trauma from World War I, Metropolis was a powerful dystopian film. Through mise-en-scène, plot, and props, the film translates the traumatic past into a science fiction future to work through the wounds of war. In this video, I will connect each evidences mentioned in my thesis statement to where it was based on history. Let's go back in time 9 years before Metropolis was released. We are now in 1918. World War I just ended. Germany was thrown into an economic and social despair. In 1927, Germany was also in Great Depression. Unemployment and violence skyrocketed during those years. If we were looking into Fritz Lang's eyes, we would understand how hard it was to live in Weimar Germany at that time. Now let's return to Metropolis and try to analyze how German trauma was shown in the film. I want to start with the opening scene. If you noticed how this scene was edited, it shows us a scene of steam coming out of the pipes, then it cuts to the scene of the marching workers. With that in mind, we can already assume that this was inspired by the industrial age despite the futuristic setting. Now, the very first humans that we see in this film were the workers. We can see in this scene that it's like they were in prison. Here are some of the props in the mise-en-scène that proves it. They are working dull uniform, iron bar separates them from each other, and they walk in unison. Now I'm going to compare it to a picture of the war. See the similarities? In this scene, we get to see the status of these workers in the community. The question is, why is it that Fritz Lang portrayed these people like slaves or prisoners? I think since that Lang witnessed the status of the Germans during World War I, he saw the inequality between the rich and the poor, even the working conditions of the poor. According to facinghistory.org, the population was undernourished and contained many impoverished widows, orphans, and disabled veterans. If we observe how the people in the film look like, it seems their condition is not far from what was happening in Weimar Germany. Pay attention to this opening scene. Notice that the framing shows their backs in the underground city. In this scene, the workers are about to return home. With their heads down, I think this scene portrays men returning home after their defeat in the war. Let's try to look into the plot. We know that the workers symbolize the hands of the society and the city master symbolized the city's head. Later in the film, the workers rebelled against the city master because they were tired of living in a marginalized society, which led to the destruction of the entire city. The two central themes of this film is industrialization and mass production. These themes were some of the contributing factors that led to the violence caused by the workers. In World War I, industrialization and mass production enhanced the destruction during the war. If we try to compare what happened in Metropolis and in Weimar Germany during World War I, we see that the industrialization and mass production influenced the destruction of the city. Now we established a connection between the workers in Metropolis and the people of Germany. We understand that they feel enslaved and they yearn for freedom. In conclusion, our past trauma as human civilization will always echo back to us through prosthetic memories, such as films like Metropolis.